Hello there, this is Dana Arcuri, author, speaker, survivor, advocate, and certified trauma recovery coach from DanaArcuri.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any new content. And if you are returning, welcome back. It is wonderful to have you here. Today's topic is called DARVO. It is an acronym. I'll share a lot of details and content about everything involving DARVO. At the core root of it, DARVO is the #1 covert tactic that the narcissist and the flying monkeys use. And so this is something that you may not have heard of the terminology, the acronym DARVO. But when I explain this, you may be like, whoa, wake up call. This could be your biggest aha moment. I know that when I heard about DARVO earlier this year, I was like, oh, wow. Okay, here's another terminology for the narcissism community. And so it is enlightening to educate ourselves and to learn new terms that may come up when we are speaking about and sharing about our experiences with narcissistic abuse, sibling abuse, family estrangement, and on it goes. And so today, we're going to start with, what is DARVO? So DARVO is an acronym, and it stands for deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. It is a defense mechanism used by manipulators to evade accountability for the abuse they inflict on others. It is a blame-shifting tactic used for gaslighting in the context of psychological abuse. The term was first coined in 1997 by a woman named Jennifer Freyd. And so who is Jennifer? Jennifer has a PhD in psychology. She is a professor of psychology at the University of Oregon. She is the founder of the Center for Institutional Courage. So when I did research, and there's a lot online from Jennifer Freyd, she considers DARVO betrayal trauma. So when we think of, okay, let's talk about betrayal now. Betrayal is never by your enemy. It is not by like the haters and so forth. Betrayal will always be by those who are in your close circle. It could be your family. It could be your friends. It could be your coworkers. It could be your spouse. It could be your boyfriend, girlfriend, intimate partner. So it's really sad that this experience with DARVO is, in essence, betrayal trauma, and it really does cut like a knife. Next is that Dr. Freyd stated, the perpetrator or offender may deny their behavior, attack the individual doing the confronting, and reverse the roles of victim and offender, such that the perpetrator assumes the role of a victim and they turn the true victim, you, the scapegoat or the black sheep of the family, they turn you into the alleged offender. So, and if you're not the black sheep and if you're not the scapegoat, you might just be the whistleblower and or the truth seeker or all of the above. So I could say as the scapegoat, I am the whistleblower of the family. I am the truth seeker. And no matter how many lies are fabricated, the truth will always come to light. And we could bank on that one. Typically, they deny your own conscious reality. And they may claim all kind of really bizarre remarks. They may say, I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't recall saying that. Or they might say, it never happened, but if it did, it wasn't that bad. And so this is called minimizing. So they're not just denying your own reality, they're minimizing their evil tactics, their sinister motives and intentions to hurt you and hurt you bad. And when they play this little mind game, it's called selective amnesia. They pretend they don't remember, they don't recall. Convenient of them. At the local level, this strategy is common among perpetrators of sexual offenders, psychological abuse, domestic violence, as well as narcissistic abuse. So DARVO is a regular feature of coercive controlling behaviors. This form of coercive control is devastating to the survivors of this type of abuse. Not only because it may take a toll on them physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, etc., but because of the lack of accountability by the narcissist and the flying monkeys. So at the end of the day, no, the narcissist and the flying monkeys will never be responsible, will never be accountable. They are incapable of doing inner self-reflection, and they are incapable of taking personal ownership for their own selves. So let's talk about who could be impacted by DARVO. So let's know this. The narcissist and the flying monkeys, they prey upon you. Oh, they handpick you. You are the target. And so who are the most likely targets? So it could be survivors who confront the abuser, whistleblowers and truth seekers. It could be the black sheep of the family and the family scapegoat, or any scapegoat. Really, at that point, it's really all scapegoats. Socially, it could be vulnerable individuals. So there's groups of people that are very vulnerable for DARVO, and it could be women, children, and minorities. Now, this is not to minimize that men experience DARVO, because I guarantee you, I have spoken to and read a lot of different men's, their tweets, their videos, their blogs, their stories, their books about either A, being in a relationship with a narcissist, or being raised by a mother or a father or both who are a narcissist. And so we can understand that, yes, everybody is impacted by DARVO. No one's exempt, no one. Next is, let's break down what DARVO looks like. And so we're going to get into the different letters of the acronym. Before I do that, real quick, DARVO does represent gaslighting. So the core root will always be manipulation and gaslighting. And so gaslighting is a strategy where a person attacks another individual for speaking the truth. So if you confront the narcissist and or the flying monkeys, they deny what happened, then they gaslight you, then they manipulate you, then they have smear campaigns against you, then they triangulate all of your relationships, and before you know it, your life is just unraveling. And you may realize, wow, I was betrayed by the narcissist and the flying monkeys. Now, again, it could be your mother, could be your father, your grandparents, your brother, your sister, could be your intimate partner, your spouse or ex-spouse, could be a friend, or could be a coworker. And at this point, anyone could be the narcissist. So now we're going to break down the acronym DARVO. So D in DARVO stands for deny. Denial. The narc and flying monkeys will always go to this number one tactic, because that is what they do. It's a big mind game. And so the relationship starts with you suspecting something's wrong. And it may begin either with the flying monkey or with the narcissist, or even both. So you may have evidence, you may have pictures and text messages, you may have online profiles on their social media where you could see, and let's just give an example. So your narc partner, you catch them cheating on you and you find out on Facebook, oh wow, they're having an affair. Or they're with another person and they're lying to you, and then they're denying. So you may then go to them and say, hey, I saw your Facebook page and I saw your messages, and yeah, when you were sleeping, I checked on your phone. Oh yeah, you're one up on them. You know what you're doing. Something is suspicious. But at the end of the day, the narcissist and the flying monkeys will always deny what they did, including if they were on Facebook or some other social media and they were cheating on you, or if they were lying to you, if they were actually creating smear campaigns and retaliating against you, spreading rumors on social media. Oh yeah, I know you've experienced it, because so have I. Never a dull moment. But this deny for DARVO is something that we all have experienced. And so there are big discrepancies in the narc and flying monkeys' actions, behaviors, and words. And so we'll catch them in a lie. We'll catch them gaslighting us. We'll catch them saying things that are false accusations. And then we can understand that if you mention your suspicions to the narcissist and the flying monkeys, and that means you confronted them, it will only be met with more denial, more deception. And so they will accuse you of being insane. They will accuse you of being a drama queen, a drama king. They will accuse you of imagining things. And this is when the total twilight zone begins. This will lead to A. So the letter A in DARVO stands for attack. This could be verbal, this could be physical, it could be both. There's a lot of different experiences that each one of us have been through. So after they deny everything, the narcissist and the flying monkeys will make an attack on you. It could be subtle or it could be just really blatant and very obvious, depending on the person and their own personality. But they're going to say things like this: I'm not sure what you're talking about. I love you so much. I would never do this to you. Oh my goodness, I've heard it all. If they ever come up with something that was actually believable. The one thing I could say is, eventually we do get suspicions because we see the discrepancies. We see through their smoke screen. It's not adding up. And our gut instincts are screaming for our attention to wake up and break free. Next is that the narcissist and the flying monkeys will always blame you. So somehow you end up being the problem. And they're like, it's all you. You're the problem. You are such a drama queen. You overreact. Oh, you're so sensitive. Oh, you're so emotional. And they will criticize you and cut you down. And this is also part of DARVO. After being attacked and in the DARVO dynamic, the R stands for reverse. We can see that the narcissist and the flying monkeys are now starting to shift attention off of themselves, and now they're going to put their attention on the scapegoat. The original suspicion becomes clouded now. And now the narc will move into the victim role. This is no shock. The narc will say, woe is me, and they'll have a big pity party, and they will then blame shift you and call you the perpetrator. After the narcissist shifts roles, so now they're the victim. Oh, they're the victim. And they have this full-blown pity party. They say that you are the bad guy. You are the problem. It's all you. And they're the victim. So in the acronym DARVO, the V stands for victim. And in this case, we all know that this is just a bunch of baloney because the narcissist will never be the victim. They will always be the perpetrator. The narcissist is a cunning and clever actor and or actress. They are so good at make-believe that many people will fall for this ridiculous behavior. They'll fall for the gaslighting. They'll fall for the manipulation. Hey, no judgment here. Because at one time in my life, yes, the younger days, the childhood, the teen years, the early adulthood, I never even came to the point of really examining everything about narcissism until 2018. And so I give myself grace, I extend you grace, because we are all at a different place in the trauma recovery. And so we must understand that each one of us may have more wisdom or more experiences or more acknowledgement of what happened, what took place, and others might be in the beginning stages. So for all of us, I say that we need to support one another. We need to be there for one another because survivors are stronger together. Next is that if you try to defend yourself with the narcissist and or the flying monkeys, they will become enraged, hostile. They'll have an emotional meltdown. They will be very, very aggressive and domineering, and they might become violent, absolutely violent. And so regardless of how the narcissist and or the flying monkeys express their poor little victim role, the scapegoat may shift from being confused and hurt and feeling betrayed to suddenly apologizing to the narcissist and the flying monkeys. Now, I consider that the early days. I think before someone's super educated and knowledgeable about narcissism, and if they're caught up in this DARVO experience, then yes, there is a higher likelihood that they will end up apologizing for something they never said and did. And that's because they're a good person. At the end of the day, let's set the record straight. Most people who are the scapegoat or the black sheep of the family, most people who have experienced narcissistic abuse, they have come to a place of understanding that just because we're good people, we're honest people, we're truth seekers, and yeah, we might be a whistleblower, but we also are typically empaths, compassionate people, kind-hearted people, and we really do want to treat others kind, respectful, give them dignity. You know, that whole thing with the golden rule. A lot of us, we practice the golden rule. We want people to treat us the way we want to be treated, and we try to treat others the way we want to be treated, meaning with compassion, with respect. Next, let's go to O. So the acronym O in DARVO stands for offender. After the narcissist will twist all the facts pertaining to what they said and did to you, they turn you into the bad guy. So the narcissist and the flying monkeys expect you to justify yourself and apologize and explain everything. They want you to justify. They want you to argue. Oh, don't forget they want a little narc supply. Oh, they need to stay alive with narc supply. Do not give them fuel for that fire. Sometimes the best way to starve the narc is to walk away, throw away the key, and never go back. Next, if you have experienced DARVO, it's essential to seek emotional support by a trauma-informed professional. And you want someone who is not only trauma-informed, but you want someone, so whether it's a psychologist, a therapist, a counselor, clergy, a certified trauma recovery coach, etc., you do want someone who is very familiar, educated, knowledgeable, and personally experienced in narcissistic abuse, in flying monkeys, and in DARVO. Because if you're going to someone, let's just say you're going to a counselor, and you're talking about the narc, and you could see that they're like frowning, and they're not speaking, they're not saying anything, or maybe they're asking you a lot of questions. It could be they have no clue what you're talking about. They never experienced it, they never studied it, they didn't research it, and they have zero knowledge, education, and experience about it, which is not going to help you, my friend. So always make sure that you do your own homework before you hire who you work with. You want someone who has clear boundaries. You want someone who is respectful. You want someone who gives you voice and choice. And you want someone who's educated about narcissistic abuse. And so if you are now hearing everything about DARVO and you're like, whoa, this is it. This is what I've been through. This is what I've experienced, and I didn't even know the name. Share your comments down below. Let's keep the comments going. Have you ever heard of the acronym DARVO? If you haven't, what did you gain today? Tell me what you learned today and maybe what resonated with you. So does the different acronyms like deny, do you relate most to the denial mind games that the narc played with you? How about when they attacked you? What about when they reversed the roles? How about when they played the victim card? What about when somehow you ended up becoming the offender and they claimed they were the victim? So I'm curious if anyone has experienced DARVO. I do have a hunch that most of you have. Feel free to share your story about your experiences and traumatic events that took place with the narcissist and or flying monkeys. Keep the comments going below. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like to work with me, go to danaarcuri.com. Thank you and have a beautiful day.